Right guys, welcome back. And today I'm gonna be telling you never do this to your BMW engine because this is very, very serious. I had a phone call earlier from someone that done this and it took us over an hour to find out what the hell went wrong. And we end up finding the cause, and I'm about to tell you what went wrong and how it all happened and how you can avoid this very, very stupid mistake. And also, this is why not to let garages touch your BMW. Right guys, you can probably see I've got oil right here, but this is not what the video is about. This is more about what actually happened to a friend of a friend earlier today. So they took their car for servicing. Then she had a call saying that her car was not starting. Now, the garage didn't know what was actually wrong with it. So the woman used her breakdown cover to recover it back to her house because the garage said they couldn't keep it there because they had no space, but they waived the cost. Now, there was a reason why they waived the cost of this. When she got home, she obviously called my friend, who my friend actually called me, because he was trying to run through me why the car weren't starting. We tried this, we tried that, we tried the fuses, we're trying to jump it because the battery ended up going flat after trying to crank and it wouldn't start. Little did we know it was gonna be one issue. But yes, that's what ended up happening. An hour long trying to diagnose why the car weren't starting, put another battery in it, tried to nearly change the starter. We were knocking on the starter thinking the starter was the issue. Many different things we were trying and the car wouldn't start. It was cranking, but not starting. We then thought it was the crankshaft position sensor. No codes were coming up, which I did say it could be a ghost code for one of the sensors. Nothing was broken, no wiring was broken. Mechanics had it and just said it stopped starting, but it was turning over. Little did we know an hour later, we then find out that the garage, and as many of you guys know, these don't have an actual physical dipstick, had overfilled the woman's engine with engine oil. Now, when I tell you overfilled, when we removed the oil filter cap, all oil literally splurted out of the top here. And to think the engine was cold. I know many of you are gonna say it's from turning it over, but turning it over would not have got it up to here. It was overfull, that oil just went everywhere down the engine. Now, the reason they done that is purely because it had no dipstick. They didn't know how much to fill, and these cars only tell you a max line. They do not tell you that you've overfilled with engine oil, okay? You can code that in, but it's a very long process to do it on these BMW engines when you're filling up the oil. So they didn't know. They had actually overfilled the engine with oil. Instead of it being 6.5, they actually put nearly over 8 liters into this engine. Well, it wasn't even this engine, it was actually an M53, but the same thing. Takes the same amount as the M52, but it was 8 liters in there. It was so overfull, the crankshaft obviously couldn't turn quick enough to start the car up. The cylinders were also flooded. It had completely caused a complete mess in the woman's engine, completely. To the point, my friend ended up letting the sump plug out onto the floor because he was over a drain. I know many of you ain't gonna agree with that, but we had to do it quickly because we had to get it out to drain out nearly all the oil. They then went to the local superstore and just bought a cheap oil, which was a cheap 5W30, no brand, shoved it in the engine the correct amount, okay? So we put the 5 liters in first and then we were cranking the engine because we needed to clear all the cylinders, and obviously we needed to clear all the oil that had over flooded the whole engine out of them cylinders and out of everywhere else in the engine. It did end up firing up, struggling. Once we got it started, he then topped up the rest of the oil. Now, only God forbid, that engine did not start. If that engine had started, she would have been left without an engine and a car. And I think the garage knew what they done, and she's gonna be filing a big complaint with them and also suing them. Now, they're the ones that had it. She had full pictures, full video of what we were trying to do, that the car weren't starting, and she also videoed when he removed the oil filter housing. And she did say she'd send me the video so I can upload that for you guys to see, but it's only a short video, so I'm gonna put it on a short. This is the damage garages and yourself can do if you do not look up how much oil your car takes. Garages are the worst for it because these cars have no dipstick, and I know that garage is going to say, the car don't have a dipstick, we didn't know how to check it, they don't know how to get into it electronically on the iDrive. Most of these garages do not understand. And she also told me they don't usually specialize in BMWs. They mostly specialize in a lot of, Mazdas and things like that, Fords, just your average stuff. They don't really specialize in BMW. And when they do, they specialize in the old ones that have a dipstick. This is an electronic controlled dipstick. And obviously it doesn't tell you when it's overfilled. That was their issue, why they couldn't figure out what they had done. What they had done is they overfilled it. Now, I don't know if it was due to lack of concentration or loss of concentration while filling the oil, probably talking to someone, didn't realize they've overfilled it or forgot how much they've actually put in. That is why it's so important when changing the oil, you get it right, how much it needs, and don't let anyone take your concentration away from doing any kind of oil change, because that can happen, and it did happen. And like I said, guys, even you guys could be making that mistake by overfilling these engines purely because you only got a digital oil level, which doesn't tell you when you overfill unless you code it in, which now I'm gonna be doing for that lady, purely because that was hazardous. And not only that, if she ever goes to a garage again, because she's a lady, and they do overfill it, they will sit straight away on the idea of when they go to start it, that oil is overfilled. It will tell you overfilled. That's why it needs to be done. And that is what I'm gonna be doing. That's why, guys, please be careful, because that could have literally destroyed her engine. Bearing in mind, it was a direct injection engine it was done on. So there you have it, guys. As I said, please never do this on your BMW engine, purely because that lady, literally, I'm telling you right now, she had God with her on that day. She really did, because she didn't have the money to go and buy another car. And she also would not have been able to do a whole engine rebuild because she needs that car for work. She got very lucky, and she got saved from that, from her engine being overfilled. So what I'm telling you guys is, please be cautious when you are filling it up or you take it to a garage, because you could leave there with too much in the engine. If your engine is overfilled with oil, it could possibly start, but you end up with tons and tons of white smoke coming out your exhaust while it's trying to burn off all that engine oil. So please be careful. That's why you see a lot of cars with tons of smoke coming out of their car, usually when the turbo is blown, because that's because it's just sucking all the turbo away and just destroying it, the engine. That's what they do. And that's what you will do to your engine. You'll damage all the bearings and damage the whole engine. Please be careful when topping up or changing the oil on your BMW engine. Thank you very much for watching. It's BMW Dr. Dean here, and goodbye.